What's going on, guys? My name is Steve. Thank you for stopping by my channel. I'm just an American guy on a journey to discover my British and Irish ancestry. Today, we're going to be reacting to Fred Dibnah, how to erect a chimney scaffold. You know, about a week or so ago, I actually watched a video of Fred standing on the top of a huge chimney stack and actually taking down the chimney brick by brick with just a hammer and a chisel. And this was one of the most insane things I've ever seen. This man was definitely a character, very unique, and he's very interesting. And I can't even imagine doing what he did, like literally just climbing up these huge chimneys without any safety equipment, without any harnesses, and then standing on this structure, which is the chimney scaffolding that he personally made, and then trusting that wood and that metal that you brought up there to hold your weight and not let you fall. You know, it's just really interesting seeing things like that. I never even knew people took down chimneys like that. I always assumed that it was, you know, like some sort of an explosion, or, you know, they demolished it with some sort of equipment. But some people in the comments actually told me that the reason for that, which makes sense, is the fact there were so many other buildings around and so many more occupied spaces around that if they took it down with by truly demolishing it with machinery or whatnot, it could literally hurt someone. So that made a lot of sense. But this man got paid like 7,000 pounds back in, I think it was 1979, if I'm not mistaken, to actually work on this chimney for months, removing it brick by brick. And I realized that he literally not only had to put up that chimney scaffolding, but he actually had to take it, or kind of take it down and lower it as he removed layers of the chimney itself. So I thought it'd be really interesting to check out how he actually, you know, put a chimney scaffold up in the first place. So that's what this video is about. Let's go ahead and check out how Fred Dibnah erects a chimney scaffold.
Next day, Fred got underway with a big chimney maintenance job, which would help to finance the building of his engine, and which he seized as a golden opportunity to offer instruction on the art of putting up scaffolding.
Now I look around and sort of lots of scaffolds at the top of chimneys that have been erected by so-called steeplejacks.
By the way, I wanted to mention that's something I really appreciated on the last video with Fred. He actually talked about how he looked at his, I think he was talking about the chimney scaffolding itself at that time, but he looked at it as a piece of art. And I really appreciate that, because that really shows how invested you are in your profession. You know, how invested he was in this profession of steeplejack, of being a steeplejack. And yeah, it's just really interesting.
Looked like a bloody biplane's crashed into the top, and you know, there's pipes going all over the show, all different directions. No square or symmetrical about the thing. And life went by, and one day I met the man who sort of had been a draftsman.
I won't get over this.
He only ended up in this crazy job through his
seeing him climb that without a harness.
And he'd gone help him out, and he was like a bit of a cut above the rest with the grey matter. And he explained to me with a piece of chalk on the cobblestones in a mill yard in Bolton how you put the ladders up and how you put the staging up round the top of a chimney. First thing I've got to do is get me bosun's chair up, and then I'm dangling in a position somewhere round about here on me.
Wait, did he actually erect the ladder itself? That's something I'm not sure about. I mean, I wouldn't think so, but I am wondering maybe he did, and that's really interesting as well, how he would do that. I've got to look that up. I'm not sure. I mean, because truthfully, did a chimney itself, like a chimney like this, did it need a ladder to the top for some sort of maintenance reason when they first built it? Or is that something that comes along later? And I really appreciate the fact that this man is literally climbing this huge chimney without any harnessing, without any safety equipment. I mean, some people would be like, well, he has 4 points, his 2 hands and his 2 feet pretty much attached to the ladder at any moment. And it's like, that is true. But at the same time, it's like anything could happen, you know? You have someone has a medical emergency, that's it. But this man, he never fell on his entire career, from what I understand. Obviously, that's not what he died of. He died of I can't remember what he died of, but it was like some sort of cancer or something. And it's just really interesting.
3 bits of rope and a little board. I have then got to chisel 4 holes into the brickwork, 6 inches apart in a vertical plane and a couple of foot apart the other way. And the next thing, up comes 4 iron pins or iron dogs. The purpose of these is to support a great balk of timber, which will come up next, you see.
Okay, he's harnessed now, or he's on a swing.
Dogs or pins in the hole on the left-hand side of the ladder.
That makes sense.
When the batten comes up the chimney, it's tied onto the line that goes from another pulley wheel at the top right down to the floor. It's tied on in a position about 4 feet from one end, and then the rope runs up the side of it, and there's a lashing round there which I can conveniently undo, and then I guide that piece of timber with, you know, Donald at the bottom supporting its weight, and I guide it behind the ladder until I've got it going across here, like so. And then I put the next pin or dog underneath that side of it, 2 more over the top. So then I've got it so it won't go up and down, it won't waddle about.
That's a hard job.
In a bosun's chair, if you've looked after all the rope and all the tattle, you have a beautiful sense of security. Because, you know, rope will hold a couple of ton and you weigh nowhere near that. And, like, really, pays you to look after your equipment because, you know, like, if that bloody rope breaks, you're dead. You know, it's half a day out with the undertaker.
Okay, I see what he did there. He locked that board into place with those 2
you know, like when
anchor
I get
points,
on my
basically.
Board, I give it a little bounce and just see whether it's safe or not, you know, and more often, well, it's never broke yet, you know, but I'm always ready to get hold of the bloody ladder if it does break. This batten has a series of holes drilled in it, and I then proceed to bolt one on there and one over there, like so. And then I'll lower myself down on my bosun's chair and mark a suitable joint at the bottom and knock a pin through there and a pin through there.
Do you call it?
I've then got that like all braced up quite solid.
Do you call it a Bolson chair? What it sounded like. Look at that,
When
man.
that's been done on both sides of the chimney, the next thing to come up is 2 long steel rods which I use to connect both of these battens together. And I've got this big iron rod and I've got to send it over to the far batten. And that means maybe 14 feet across, you know, or 12 foot on a reasonable chimney stack. I've got to get that rod onto the other batten so that it's in like line with an hole, and as it scrapes down the face, give it a shove through the hole, you know. And if you're lucky, you'll get it through, sort of thing. It's rather a tricky bit, that. See, all the modern men use aluminium scaffolding tubing now, but I like this way of doing it.
The aluminum will be lighter, but
when you've got it all
not as sturdy,
up,
I
it's
guess.
quite solid.
Oh man, that would be a little bit difficult, man. Trying to get that into that hole over there.
And when you've finally got the rods through the 2 sets of holes, then you put the washers and the nuts on, or a few packing pieces, so you can slightly cramp them up round the chimney. Then after we've got the 2 battens on and bolted together, the next stage of the game is planks, which form like the platform that you walk on, come up one at once, of course, because some of them like 16, 18 feet long. And when it arrives at the top, it's tied on in a special way that when I untie it, I can get like one plank across there, like so, and one across there, like so, and then another one next to it, you see, all the way around the top. And so that when you walk on them, they don't go like up and down like that. You know, 2 iron plates with a bolt through the middle, which makes them 2 boards as one, and then there's iron hooks that hook them onto the battens, so the wind can blow at 100 mile an hour and they'll still be there in the morning, you see. Wind is every steeplejack's enemy.
Yeah, I bet.
There's no way that, you know, you get the boards up, and even if you've got to keep it flat all the time, and you've got this feeling that it's floating on the wind, you know, which it really is, and if you turn it sideways on into the wind, it'd have your way. In a wind like today, sort of all the chimneys, you know, you get about 2 or 3 inches swaying about, you know. It's actually all the chimney stacks swaying, you know.
I just realized how important it is to make sure you've got these main boards, right? The first boards he put up, basically almost exactly center point with the center of the chimney. You know what I mean? Because otherwise you wouldn't have enough room on the sides here.
From side to side. You have that feeling that there's something not quite right, you know, as though you've had about 5 pints of beer, like, you know, you think, you know, there's something moving somewhere, sort of thing, and, you know, it's all the bloody lot going like this. If you're on the windy side of it, you don't feel it because the wind's buffeting you about, you see. But if you go around in the slipstream and sit on the stage nice and quiet and just lean against the wall, you can feel it moving, you know, rocking. Nice. A big gust and you'll feel it go right over, and then there's a bit of a lee in the wind, you feel it come back. It's quite unbelievable, you know. There's not many people experienced out like that. When we've got all the big planks in position, on a large diameter chimney, there's a great gap in the corner, so we've got 4 boards called corner boards that fit across the corners, you see, like so, which, like, stops you falling through the hole in the corner.
Wow.
Once you've got the first staging up, or the first deck up, you know, there's firm basis for going higher up, then you chisel the holes for the next staging. And, you know, you can work quite comfortably as though you were on the ground.
I don't know about that, Fred. Not me.
When I've done it, when I've got all the gear up, you know, to me, it's a bloody magnificent achievement, you know. You've, like, really got the world at your feet.
Wow, man. This really was impressive. Really. Look at this. Hold on. I mean, I really see why he feels like that is a piece of art. That really is a piece of art. It's also a piece of engineering. I mean, that really takes some serious skill to be able to go and do something like that. I mean, that's amazing. It really is. When you look at that and you really just admire it, it really is just, it's incredible that he literally just piece by piece made that up on the side of a chimney. I don't know, 100, 200, 300 feet up in the air, whatever height that is. One of the craziest things to me, though, is the fact that I don't know if when he's doing maintenance on a chimney, I don't know if he's got to do maintenance from the top all the way down, or I don't know what the maintenance is exactly. So I don't know about during that time. But like if he is up there like he did on the last video, removing chimneys brick by brick, This chimney actually looks like it has a cap on it, so it doesn't look like brick up here. But anyway, if he's doing that, he had to take the scaffolding down and move it every time he needed to get lower. And that's got to take so much patience. It would be, I don't know, it'd be kind of aggravating. I mean, it really would. I guess, though, I mean, I guess he's not doing that every day. I mean, he would literally probably be doing that. What would he be doing that? Once a week or something like that if he's taking down the chimney? I don't really know. Like I said, I don't know what maintenance he's doing on the chimney, but that's incredible. Put that up, and then he's got to take it down, and then, wow. This guy was a very unique character. It's pretty amazing. It really is. I can really appreciate it for the artistic value, like he said. I can see it. I can see what he means by that. It is a piece of art. It really is. And there's so much skill involved in it. But anyways, guys, thank you so much for stopping by. Please click that like button. Feel free to drop your comments or suggestions about this video or others. And don't forget to subscribe to continue to follow me in my journey to discover my British and Irish ancestry. Until next time, guys, peace.